Next up, we're diving into something fascinating, a really significant shift in global manufacturing. It's all about Chinese companies setting up shop here in the United States, and it's driven by tariffs, plain and simple. Now, I remember back in '85, when Japan was getting heat for exporting so much to the US, we saw similar, albeit smaller scale, movements of Japanese manufacturers opening facilities over here. It wasn't about avoiding tariffs then, more about currency fluctuations and perceived quality issues, but the underlying principle is the same. Get closer to your customer. This current situation, though, this feels bigger.
Wow, that's surprising. I mean, you always hear about companies moving production to China, not the other way around. So these tariffs are really making it that difficult. 145% increase sounds insane.
Insane is a good word for it. It's a game changer. Think about it if you're selling something for 10 and suddenly have to pay 14, with in tariffs on top of everything else. Your profit margin just evaporated. Vertical mentions Ryan's Hughes novelty gift company. Little things, right? But 95% of his orders are from the US. He doesn't have a choice. He has to find a way to stay competitive. Setting up in Dallas, Texas isn't glamorous work, but it beats going under.
So it's not just about big tech or anything. It's affecting all sorts of businesses. That makes sense, I guess. But wouldn't setting up a factory in the US be incredibly expensive? Like land, labor, regulations, everything is more costly here than in China, isn't it?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. It is expensive. That's why they're doing it as a last resort. But consider this, even with those higher costs, it can still be cheaper than paying those massive tariffs. And beyond just cost, there's speed to market. No more weeks lost in shipping and customs. Plus, the NUSA label carries weight with some consumers these days. That's a marketing advantage too. It reminds me of when I was advising X textile company back in the early 2000s. They were facing quotas on imports from certain countries and ultimately decided investing in automated manufacturing here was more viable than trying to navigate the quota system.
That's a good point about speed to market. And that in USA thing, I hadn't thought of that. So it's not just direct investment into the US either, right? The article mentions something about Indian exporters getting involved. That feels like a totally different angle.
AJ, you are quick on the take. It gets even more interesting, doesn't it? This is where things get really geopolitical. Chinese firms are now approaching Indian companies and essentially saying, we'll give you as commission if you ship these goods to the US for us. They're using India as some sort of proxy circumventing the tariffs by routing their products through another country. It's brilliant, really, in a Machiavellian kind of way. And Indian companies are happy to oblige, naturally.
Wow. So it's like shadow manufacturing. Almost feels a bit sneaky. But I guess if you're trying to survive, you do what you have to do. Does the US government know about this happening with India? Is anyone doing anything about that?
They absolutely know. The Indian government is actually in talks with the US right now, trying to negotiate a trade deal that would give them more favorable access to the American market. It's a delicate dance. They don't want to jeopardize their relationship with China, but also want to capitalize on this opportunity. You see, these kinds of economic pressures often create unexpected alliances and tensions. The world isn't just about supply chains. It's about power dynamics too.
This is so much more complex than I initially thought. It's not just simple tariffs affecting prices. It's reshaping entire global manufacturing networks and creating these really intricate workarounds. It almost makes me wonder what other surprises are lurking around the corner in terms of trade wars and economic strategy.